Hi, I'm Ahmar Iqbal, and this is my Fair 10 for 10.
For the last 10 years, FAIR has been an incredible representative of the food allergic community, leading advocacy, education, and research for 32 million Americans directly impacted by food allergies and 85 million Americans indirectly impacted. I'm Adam Miller, and I've been with FAIR from the beginning. Literally, I helped merge FAN and FAI to create FAIR, which today is the largest voluntary health nonprofit in the world addressing food allergies. Now, in celebration of 10 years, we're going to ask the whole FAIR family the same 10 questions to give you insights on our history and what's coming next from FAIR. Question number 1, tell us a little about yourself.
I'm Ahmar Iqbal, and I'm here. First of all, I am from the industry, but I'm here now, part of the FAIR community, and that's what I am here for, to celebrate a little of what has been accomplished by FAIR over the past 10 years.
Question number 2, what is your connection to food allergies and FAIR?
My connection to food allergy and FAIR is actually through FAIR, because to be honest, I got introduced, I'm a physician, but my introduction to food allergy and understanding a little bit of what happens to patients and their caregivers with food allergy is through my association with FAIR, which happened about 4 or 5 years ago when I met the leadership. And I can't say I'm proud, but I'm just privileged to be part of not only FAIR, but the caregivers, patients, I don't even want to call them patients, who are part of FAIR and have helped to elevate the importance of not only food allergy, but of FAIR.
In your opinion, how does the world of food allergy look different today than it did 10 years ago?
I must tell you that I have said this actually in a meeting this morning, that the highlight of my career is whatever little impact I can make on food allergy. Because if you look at it in terms of where we were even 5 years ago, let alone the 10 years that FAIR has been in existence, people didn't know about food allergy. It was like a condition that only affected the rich and privileged. And to me, where we have come right now is the elevation of food allergy as something that we need to manage, highlight, and take care of. Not only just people who have food allergies, which is a very large number of people, but also the caregivers. And I think to me, that's the passion that we all need to have to drive what's right for people who live through a lot when they have this condition.
Question number 4, what do you wish you knew in 2012 that you know today?
There are many things that I wish I had known. Maybe I would have known what are the best stocks to invest in, or learn a little more about technology that I am forced to use now. But honestly, when we bring it back to food allergy and FAIR, honestly, I didn't know anything about food allergy. I'm a physician, I've gone through everything, and to me, I wish I had known it when I was practicing and being a little more empathetic and understanding, and even doing professionally what's right. So to me, that's just something, things have changed, and I can't change what I knew in 2012, but I think at least I'm playing some small part with this community to help the understanding of the condition.
Question number 5, what's your favorite FAIR memory?
My favorite memory actually was my first meeting that I had with the FAIR leadership. And I think to me, it is memorial for me because, first of all, I got to know a little bit about what food allergy is. But the important thing is that I felt heard in terms of at least bringing my experience and my little knowledge, not of the field, but my experience in terms of how we can marry on the objectives and the listening mode that FAIR has always had, to give some weightage to what I say and to help form what FAIR has achieved in the past 10 years, not from me alone, but taking the little pieces of what I said, and for FAIR to take it seriously. Of course, not everything that I say needs to be done, given the resources, and to be prioritized, but I felt that I was being heard, and I was also learning along the way. So to me, I don't consider myself a food allergy specialist or an expert, but I at least share the passion, and I also share the caring that FAIR exhibits. And that to me is a big change in me.
Crystal ball time. What breakthroughs would you like to see 10 years from now?
Well, my vision always for any condition is that we develop a cure for it. First of all, that we are able to recognize the condition, to do what's appropriate in terms of the workup, in terms of managing it, and ultimately, if we can find a test that you do very simply, maybe at home or wherever, where everyone knows if they have an allergy and that we have a cure for it. So that's, at least we should have that vision. There will be many steps and a lot of hard work that will come in the way, but I am confident that with the right minds, especially our newer generation, they will find solutions for us. And we need to give them the tools to be able to do that. So I'm thinking, maybe not in 10 years, but maybe not a very long time after that, that we will be saying that food allergy doesn't even exist. Because if you have it, you take one pill or whatever prevention measure and you're done with it. So to me, that's what we should strive for, understanding that it might be a long path to get there.
FAIR's made so many connections over the last decade. Can you think of an important connection FAIR made for you?
So FAIR has just been phenomenal in terms of the connections. This community, first of all, FAIR is a good listening group, which means that everyone feels heard. And when you do that, at least I can tell you my journey, that I was, and still am, probably not an expert. But even when I talk to the experts at FAIR, they take me seriously and listen to me. And that starts that connection. And that's how FAIR has become this large community, where everyone is equal. Patients are important, they know what they go through. Providers are important, and someone from me, like industry, where we have a common goal. It's not about any product, it's about what we can do for this whole community. And the community is very large. It's the whole world, and it's tens of millions of people. And I think, to me, if there's one goal that I think FAIR has, is to connect everyone. And that's how we become stronger, and that's how we not just lobby, but we find a cure for food allergy. That's what we can give our young children, very tender age, a year old. And I know there are initiatives that even FAIR is working on, which will get us there. I am confident that we will get there.
What misconception about food allergies would you like to clarify or rectify for the world?
One misconception, and I must say that it may be a misconception just on my part, but which I mentioned earlier, is that this is a condition only for the privileged or a certain community. And in this world of inclusive research, in this world of recognizing diversity, we know that food allergy does not affect just one race, class. It affects everyone. And I think that misconception we need to cure, because curing the condition is one thing, but curing in our minds the misconception that it doesn't affect, for example, minorities, or it's not a priority for them. It can make your life hell. in terms of both economic costs, and that unfortunately affects underprivileged and minority populations more, because for some of us, an extra $200 or $400 a month to avoid foods that everyone can consume, that has a disparaging and a effect on minorities, which is far more than it is on other populations. So let's just all join together to say we are all human beings and forget about which human being in which class is affected by this. It does not matter. Anyone who is affected by food allergy, either themselves or their caregiver or being a parent or any other way, let's all work together and treat ourselves as human beings.
What's your favorite or least favorite food?
Well, it's a little ironic for me to say this, but I love nuts. And I think to me, that also brings me back to the situation where there are certain people who cannot consume nuts, or there are certain people who, as part of their treatment, are given treatments where they say, you know what, I hate peanuts. So to me, it changes that whole dimension, and I can't think of either situation where I'm not allowed to eat nuts, or I'm forced to consume a peanut product to stay alive. So to me, that's the irony of being in a place where I have the luxury, if I may call it, of consuming nuts, which I love, and hopefully, in a decade or so, we will have everyone have that privilege if they want to. If they don't like nuts, so be it. But it shouldn't be based on, hey, I cannot eat it because it is dangerous for me. So sorry about the irony there. And many a times in my conversations, I draw that up when I say that's peanuts. And sometimes when I do this work in food allergy, I say, ironically, I'm sorry to give you that analogy because it's probably ill-conceived and may affect some people differently. So maybe we need to avoid that term even. Sorry about that irony in my life, that I'm talking here about food allergy and peanuts are the main culprit here. And maybe someday we'll have peanuts that do not provoke allergy.
Just a quick follow-up. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
That's a good question. I think my view is beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Okay, so I'd say it's not a sandwich, but if someone else thinks that way, so be it.
Last question. For everyone watching us now, why should they donate to FAIR?
We all need to donate to FAIR. Now, that doesn't mean that it always has to be dollars. I think FAIR needs everyone's support, whether it's a kind word, whether it is some word of wisdom, anything. Nothing is inconsequential, whether in terms of money. It's $1, it may be $1 million. It may be a thought which may not be practical. It may be just a pat on the back to say you're doing good work. So we all need to be in that mindset and think of us as what is it that we can contribute to. It may or may not be money. That I believe is the easiest, because I'm not saying $1 million is easy, but $1 may be easy. But to me, it's more than that. It's what we bring in terms of humanity, because we need to care about this large population, and they are exposed to something that they don't control. And FAIR has made some progress in terms of, peanuts not being served on a flight, and the labels on foods and things like that. So we've got to continue to make that progress, and we need everyone to chip in. So whether you see a facility that has peanuts and doesn't have a sign that points to it, and just to point out, and that conversation with the owner of that place to say, all good intentions, but this might be dangerous for someone with food allergy. So just having that conversation and that passion, that's your contribution. So I think to me, we just have to think through, each of us, to say how can we contribute. But I think the option of not doing anything or not contributing to this, I think is not a good option.